Welcome to Your Powerful Legacy TV. My name is 𝘂𝑚𝑒𝑠 𝙀𝑉𝑎, and I'm joined today by Kristina Kepperling and Rob Kepperling of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. To our viewers at home, we are talking all about taxes today. Don't turn the station, don't turn the channel. We have to talk about taxes. It's on everyone's mind. So we're just going to do a deep dive into taxes today. Kristina, how are you?
I'm so ready to talk about taxes. This is going to be fun. It's not a bad thing. Let's talk about it. Let's have some fun.
Yes, I agree with you. Rob, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Happy to be here.
Me too. It's a blessing to be with both of you. Thank you again for always making the time to come in to do the shows. And I know that you're so busy, so this means so much to all of us. But yes, let's talk a little bit about taxes because people are concerned about it. They're wondering what's going to happen in the future. Are taxes going up? Are they going down? Which I don't think they are going down. You're the professionals on that. But they're wondering, how do they navigate the tax terrain? So Kristina, all about taxes.
With over $33 trillion in debt, I think you're absolutely right. Taxes will probably have to go up to take care of things. And for those of us who have saved a lot of pre-tax money, like our 401ks, 403bs, 457s, there's a tax bomb just waiting. You literally do not own all of your money. About a third of it could end up going to the government for taxes, just like a bomb blows up when it's time to start taking those distributions.
Wow, that's incredible when you think about it, because people, I don't think, are really understanding that they do have a silent partner in some of these 401ks and what have you. Let's talk about Uncle Sam being in there.
Yes, when we think about that, what is it really going to look like as far as an advantage? And one of my favorite things to talk about is how do you contribute that money based on what you need to do to distribute the money later on down the road. So when I'm saying that with taxes, I know that sounds a little complicated, so I do want to break that down. When we are talking about distributing the money, we're not just talking about your lifetime. Did you know that with the Secure 2020 Act that you cannot leave a stretch IRA to a non-spousal beneficiary anymore? Think about that for just a moment. A stretch IRA is when you can stretch an individual retirement account over the lifetime of the beneficiary. Other than your spouse, that can't be done. So if you are divorced, widowed, single, whatever it may be, and you're leaving pre-tax money to a beneficiary that's not a spouse, they could end up paying some pretty significant penalties, or it could affect their income.
Wow, that's unbelievable when you think about it, because you are potentially creating a tax burden for those you love, correct?
You have to pull that out over a 10-year period, and what happens if that shrinks to 5 years?
Yeah.
It could be even more devastating for people.
Because so often when we think about that, people that are receiving that money, if you will, they're in their high income earning years. They're typically, in their 50s, and so they're probably working very hard, and they're probably relatively affluent and comfortable. That could bump you into the next tax bracket.
Well, and you just mentioned that 50s, so under 59 and a half, remember that there's a 10% federal penalty.
Wow.
On those distributions from IRAs. That does apply to your beneficiaries as well.
Yes.
This is a really big deal. And taxes are something that we all have to talk about. We do have an amazing tool. It's called the Retirement Tax Bill Calculator. This is on yourpowerfullegacy.com. And folks, let me tell you exactly how this works. So if you want to see what your potential taxes could be, and then what we could do with some good tax strategies to lower that tax risk, click on that Retirement Tax Bill Calculator. It's going to ask just a couple of questions, very easy. And remember, this is only your pre-tax money. You're not given any personal information. We don't need that. Then click the Get Your Report. It's going to take about 5 minutes or less, and you'll get an email from the Retirement Tax Bill Calculator. That's the software. We have it. This is not farmed information. It's not going out into internet space to go to everybody else. You're going to get a true report on your personal taxes. This is so valuable. A lot of people are looking at this. We never see them in person. I can just see that so-and-so did that. What an amazing piece of information to have, because that could be, again, 1/3 of your retirement savings.
It makes perfect sense.
And what Kristina said, it's not going to get farmed out. You're not going to get a bunch of people calling you. Chances are you might get me calling you just to make sure that you got it, you understood it, to see if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, that's great. If you do, we want to answer them for you. And we want to take any time that we can to really help you understand where you're exactly at from a tax point situation.
So it's all about balance, too, when we're talking about leaving money to our loved ones. We want to make sure that we're factoring in the proper tax potential implications, but there's a balance that needs to be there.
Well, first off, I must say that that statement is so far off balance, I don't even know what to do other than just give you a couple of examples. I'm not talking about the taxation part, but leaving money to people or spending it. Cynthia, I get this just completely on opposite ends of the scale. I get some people that'll come in and say, I'm not leaving anything to my kids. I'm going to spend all my money. And then I get other people that are just so conservative because they're like, I really want to leave something for my family. It's so strange. So then when you go factoring taxes inside of that, it just makes it's so hilarious how I just see each end of the spectrum rather, and that these people are equally concerned about taxes no matter what. So if we're having the conversation about decumulating your funds, what if, let's say, for example, I have a husband and a wife, and let's say that there's just a couple years difference in age. Well, we do know that there is longevity risk that is significantly higher for ladies. Gentlemen, that's just because the good die young. Don't worry about it. No, I'm just teasing. But because we do have that longevity risk, what if it could be advantageous for you to convert some of that money to a Roth IRA so that, ladies, we could have some tax-free retirement savings down the road? That's one of my favorite things to do.
It definitely is. And Rob, you and Kristina really enjoy talking about Roth conversions as well.
We do. And we do this typically in December because you don't know what your full income is going to be throughout the year, and it's going to be based on your tax bracket. We don't want to put you in a situation where you go into an upper tax bracket than you really needed to go into, which Uncle Sam, again, would take more money. It's very imperative that you do it at the end because you don't know what's going to happen. You may think that you have an income coming in and you know exactly what it's going to be till the end of the year. Well, that's not necessarily the case. We had a situation with a good friend of ours, a client, that he wanted to do that. And Kristina said, no, we'll do it in December. And his wife became very ill, and he needed to pull some of that money out for some of her treatments. If he would have taken that money and rolled over into Roth, it would have taken him up into a couple more tax brackets because you'd be double dipping into your retirement savings that it's qualified money, and one putting into Roth and the other pulling out to use it for those medical bills. So it's very important, and not just in that situation, but there's other situations that could cause that tax implication as well.
Rob, thank you. Well, Kristina, I know that you and Rob love the Roth, but why specifically do you love the Roth? Let's talk a little bit about that before we take a commercial.
Because there are only a couple of ways to grow your money completely tax-free and for those distributions to be tax-free.
Okay.
So the Roth IRA and the tax code 7702. We're not going to jump into 7702 today, but I do want to go over just a couple of details. When you do have Roth 401k, folks, because of the Secure 2.0, you no longer have required minimum distributions on your Roth 401k, so that's a big deal.
Absolutely.
Roth IRA doesn't have any. So you can grow that money through your lifetime and perhaps leave that with no tax burden to your beneficiaries. That's just a couple things I love about Roth.
I love that. I want to do a deep dive into more of the Roth when we come back from the commercial break. But Rob, you and Kristina have a very special offer to present today. Let's talk about what that is.
We love our community. We are here for education. We love providing this free information to you, and it's important for us that you understand exactly where you are and the track that you are moving forward. So give us a call today, 877-893-5099, or click on that QR code. We will come in, or you will come in, and we will provide you with a complimentary review. There's nothing charged. There's no obligations. We are just there for education, and then we'll let you know what we can do from you moving forward.
Rob, thank you so much. And Kristina, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call is on your screen, 877-893-5099. And if you're in the viewing audience today and you're concerned about tax implications for your retirement plan, this is the perfect opportunity for you to call in to book that complimentary consultation. Once again, the number is 877-893-5099. If you don't have your pen handy, that's okay. We've made it even easier. Just grab your smartphone. Click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to your Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services landing page. We can make sure that you are on the right track for retirement. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We're talking about taxes. We have so much more when we return.
I've yet to see someone come in and they actually have a full plan or strategy in place. That's just not happened. I get so many that'll come in, they'll have this big binder with charts and graphs and all these fancy items. Truly, I can ask a couple of small questions like, well, what is your strategy for your required minimum distribution or your taxes? It's not there. How much is your income going to be next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road? They honestly can't even tell me the answer.
That's why they don't have a strategy. We're going to talk about everything. All the things that you don't want to talk about. Politics, religion, taxes, obviously money. We're going to talk about all those things very comfortably and very happily. I think that today we're in unprecedented times. Everyone who comes in gets a copy of my book, The Retirement Train. It's completely different than any other book out there. It's an easy read, it's fun, it has amazing information that's easy to understand, which is important. You're not going to come in and get that corporate mumbo jumbo, a bunch of abbreviations that you don't understand. You're going to feel very well informed. You're going to feel like someone cares about you, because we do. That's one of the things that I feel like is the greatest blessing, is getting to care for other human beings and show them how we care by giving them that information. Whether we choose to move forward in business or not, people are always very happy, and that's the essence of what we're looking for.
Welcome back to Your Powerful Legacy TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Kristina Kepperling and Rob Kepperling of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services, and we are talking all about taxes because we have to. It's on everyone's mind. Everyone's wondering what's going to happen, so today's show is all about taxes. Kristina, a lot of people, I'm sure, that come in and speak with you and Rob, they have something called the 529 plan. What happens if they don't use all of the funds in the 529? Is it gone?
It is not. You know, Secure 2.0 changed this to where the 529 Education Savings Plan, folks, it can now be converted to a Roth IRA for that beneficiary. How awesome is that?
That is.
So I have a little grandson, Levi.
Yes.
And of course, I want him to have an education program. But let's just say that he decides not to use that. He decides to do something else. Well, then that can now be moved to a Roth IRA. So continue to grow tax-free. Tax-free contributions, tax-free distributions, tax-free growth. This is awesome. I love that.
It really is.
So it's no longer use it or you have to pay the taxes on it.
That is fantastic. That is such a benefit. A lot of people are very confused about that, so I'm glad that you shed some light on that. Now let's talk a little bit about taxes and market volatility. How does that affect that?
Well, when I think about all these things with taxes, Cynthia, it makes me think about what I call the retirement tantrum.
Okay.
So you know how when a toddler is sitting there, maybe they're overwhelmed or they just don't get what they want, they throw a tantrum, right?
Of course.
Well, I see people that come in and they're thinking about taxes, volatility of the market, some fees inside of their accounts, and inflation and healthcare, all these things together, and they're just overwhelmed. And sometimes people don't get to retire when they want to and how they want to.
Yes.
So that feels like you want to have a retirement tantrum, right?
Yes, that makes sense.
It's easy to understand. Yeah.
Yes, and when we're having that conversation with people and I see that just very unhappy, you know, demeanor and just so scared, a lot of times it's because there's lack of information, and most of the time they don't even have a written plan.
Oh, wow.
So when we start laying everything out and going over, this is what it needs to look like, this is what you need to do to get there, and then I just watch the stress melt from their shoulders. That's one of my favorite things to see as I'm chatting with folks. And you know, I can give so many different examples, but I had this lady that was in my firm in Louisville. And I mean, she was just super grumpy, had those arms crossed and back, and her face was all scrunched up. I thought, ooh, I'm scared of her. I went in there and sat down, and truth be told, she was just scared.
Of course.
She was scared of her retirement because she had lost a lot of money.
Oh.
She started to have some tears well up in her eyes, and she said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And nobody wants to help me because the account wasn't a certain number. How ridiculous is that?
That is. That's
Everyone
sad.
deserves retirement treatment. And one of the things that she really enjoyed when folks are coming in to visit us at Powerful Legacy, we're going to give you as much information as possible. Also, when you come in for a consultation, we're going to give you a copy of this book, The Retirement Train. Folks, I know you're going to love this book. It's so full of information that's not like anything else. It's very easy to read. We want to share this with you. It's not for sale. You can only come in, grab a copy because the information is free.
That is an amazing book, Rob. Not to interrupt you, but I have read that a couple of times, and I love it. It is very easy to read, and it is a fun read. It truly is.
Oh, my next book's even better. I can't wait until this one gets done.
Yay! I can't wait either. Rob, I'm sorry, what were you
It just
going to say?
that book, it'll remind us of things that we haven't thought about for a while, and we need to go back to and kind of think about some of the basics and what to look for. But I want to touch on what Kristina said, too, about people that feel like they don't have enough money to go see an advisor. to somebody to help them out for the future. And that's simply just not the case. That's not the right thing to do. And we believe that our morals and we've got to answer it to somebody higher at some point. So the right thing to do is what we're going to do regardless. So feel free, if you have those questions or you have those concerns, come talk to us. We would love to talk to you.
Rob, thank you so much. And you're very passionate about having a full plan. What does a full plan consist of in retirement?
Well, again, when we're having a conversation about those big handfuls, it's going to be your tax planning. It's going to be Social Security strategies. What is the best time to file for Social Security? We're going to talk about inflation and inclusive. We want to talk about your legacy and estate plan. We want to talk about healthcare, all things retirement. Now, we know that not one person can do everything.
Sure.
And so I like to call on my powerful partners. Obviously, I consult with you on a regular basis with real estate. You're so brilliant. I love this. And when we're talking about people upsizing, downsizing, what's going on with the market, and just hearing the way that you describe things, you're so reassuring. And our powerful partners do the same. So I'm not a lawyer, thank heaven. So we have to pass people on sometimes to the attorneys and sometimes the tax attorneys. And then the CPA kind of puts everything together with the numbers. Roth conversions, we do converse with our CPA on that. And what does it really take to get someone a full written retirement plan? It takes a team of people. It's not just one. I could never take that credit. There's an incredible team, myself and all the powerful partners that surround you and give you what you need.
I love that. Another question that people are probably wondering is, how do I know that I'm working with the right advisor? Rob, let me put you in the seat for that one. The right advisor.
Well, if you're talking about all of these things, and you don't have any further questions, you don't have any bad gut feelings, you're comfortable that somebody's listened to your needs and come up with they've come up with a strategy that you feel is right for you. There's no other questions. There's no gut feelings. I think you found your person.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Kristina, you and Rob have a very special offer to present to our viewers at home. Let's talk about what that is before we revisit the phones today.
Folks, I know that I just made you drink from a fire hose of information, and it feels a little overwhelming sometimes. Maybe you're having a retirement tantrum right now on your couch as you're watching this show. But please, stop, just take a moment, click on that QR code, or call the number on your screen, that 877-893-5099. Let's sit down, let's go over all of these items together for you. We are offering a complimentary consultation. Even if you're just missing one piece of your puzzle and you want to come in for a second opinion, that's okay. So please just give us a call, click that QR code, come in and get a copy of the retirement train, have a cup of coffee or tea, a soda, come and pet my little dog Zeus. I know you're going to love it the moment you walk in the door because we are so blessed to get to enjoy meeting you.
And I can tell you that that is very true. Kristina, thank you so much. Rob, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, in case you're wondering, are Rob and Kristina like this in real life? They are. They genuinely want to meet you. They want you to come in and have a cup of coffee with them, to pet Zeus. Let them get to know your story. Let them get to know what your plans, your dreams, and your hopes are for retirement. If you're not on the right path for retirement, wouldn't you want to know today? This is your opportunity. Call in to 877-893-5099. And if you don't have a pen handy, that's okay. You can just grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services landing page, and you can claim your spot accordingly. You don't want to miss this opportunity. It's a very important one. We're going to take a very short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about the different phases of retirement when we return.
Better is just better, but it doesn't begin without a plan. Better, it's the American way. From a better house, a better career, to a better life for our kids, Americans strive for better. When it comes to your retirement, what does better mean to you? Better income, better lifestyle, better solutions. A better retirement begins with a financial plan. To get your complimentary financial plan, call the number you see here. It's your retirement, an opportunity for better.
Welcome back to Your Powerful Legacy TV. My name is Cynthia 𝘃𝙗𝙗, joined today by Kristina Kepperling and Rob Kepperling of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. We're talking all about your retirement plan today. And let's talk about The different phases of retirement. This is very interesting to me. You said there's 3 phases, Kristina and Rob. What would those 3 phases be?
So these are described in many, many different ways. And inside of the book, The Retirement Train, and then also we have a little chart here that we go over. This is so much fun. When we're talking about your financial phases, you can see here on this illustration that I created, I go over it as contribution, conservation, distribution. Sometimes it's accumulation, preservation, decumulation. It's said in several different ways. You can see here that this one looks like a speedometer. Okay, I can tell exactly what phase you're going to be in by this question. Let's play a little bit of a game here for just a moment.
Okay.
So everyone out there, if you have $100,000 sitting inside of your retirement account, are you comfortable losing 50% of that? So $50,000 out of 100? No, probably not.
No.
What about around $40,000? Are you comfortable just losing 40? No big deal.
No.
40%? 30? 20? Maybe 10%? Welcome to the financial red zone. This is a big deal. I know what color you're at. You are somewhere in this orangey ready, getting ready to be purple. I know where you are. And what this is just making awareness to exactly where you are to let us know where you need to go. And the way that it looks like a speedometer, it's also a great reminder of don't accelerate your spending too much when you're into accumulation, or you could end up running out of money. And one of the things that I love is, you know, people are coming into the firm, Cynthia, calling into the TV show, and they come in, they say the funniest things. There's been something that's been said probably 2 or 3 times. I don't like it, but it's still funny. They're always just like, oh my gosh, you're so little. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, we can't say the L word.
And then also, just like the commercial a moment ago, they say this has just been so much better than I ever thought it was going to be. What an amazing compliment. I mean, that is the essence of my career, just like I said. And this has been such a better experience than what I was expecting. And, you know, they're like, I thought it was going to be like a root canal. Just awful. No, it's great. People leave very upbeat, very happy, and they know what they need.
They do. They do. And also, your seminars are booked solid. So let's talk a little bit about those. You're very passionate about educating the public.
Yes, I love being out there in these live seminars. You know, before COVID, it wasn't uncommon to have over 100 people in the room. I mean, it was crazy.
Yep.
Now that we're back to these live seminars, and I'm not talking about sitting down and paying for a plate of dinner and, you know, having to hear about something or you have to have a certain amount of money to enter. That's not what I'm talking about. A true educational experience. We talk about all things retirement, solving the retirement puzzle. We do have a big focus on Social Security because that's a big piece of retirement. And just hearing what people's concerns are, interacting with people, and all things retirement, we're all thinking the same thing. Before I begin the seminar, Cynthia, I do this little exercise as we're letting some people trickle in, because sometimes traffic will hold some people up. And I'll ask, just give me one word about something you're concerned about in retirement, and start at the back of the room and move forward. Well, we're going to hear things like taxes, health care, money. That's the #1 answer.
Of course.
Not enough, you know, things like that.
A lot of people can't hold it to just one word. They try.
Yeah, they do
But
try.
it
They
goes to
try.
multiple words trying to figure out or describe what they're worried about.
I'm sure.
We do get some challenges, like we had someone yell out in the crowd the other day, divorce. I was like, what? But the reason why I love doing this is because people can truly see that we're all worried about the same thing. We're all discussing the same thing. And people tend to feel a little bit more comfortable when they realize, okay, I'm not alone.
Yes.
It's okay for me to be worried about this. The #1 thing people are worried about is running out of money in retirement.
And how do you offset that fear, Rob? Does it come down to a well-designed plan?
Well, sometimes I think it's a legitimate fear. We're living longer than we ever have, so it's a concern that we legitimately should have. And I'll joke around with my dad every once in a while. And we talked about it earlier, is running out of money. I say, you know, Dad, would you just quit spending my inheritance? And he'll lovingly say, don't worry about me running or spending your inheritance. Just worry about me running out of money before I die, insinuating that I'm going to take care of all of his living expenses and do all that stuff. So I simply respond as, you remember, I get to pick your nursing home out, and it's a fun conversation back and forth that we have. But to your point, it's a legitimate concern because people are living longer, they are spending money, and they have those go-go years that are a lot longer than they used to be.
And it's valid because, like you said, I know that when my father retired, he did not work with a financial advisor. There wasn't a thing called planning back then. Basically, my dad had Social Security and a pension, and he was a do-it-yourselfer. He did it on his own. So times have changed, and having a true financial advisor that can design a plan is a breath of fresh air.
Well, if you take a look back just even into the 80s, a defined benefit plan, which is also known as the pension, it's a benefit that the employers were paying for and that you would receive that pension when you retired. That was just one leg of the stool. Then you had your Social Security and a little bit of personal savings. That responsibility has really shifted to where now it's more defined contribution. So that is on your shoulders. Sometimes there is a company match, but people are not staying at their jobs for their whole lives like they used to. And people are living longer than ever. Taxes are probably going to go up. Inflation is higher. Listen to all these things that people are concerned about in retirement, and there is something that can be done about that. A true, holistic, written retirement plan. So if you're missing any of those pieces, if you just have a bunch of charts and graphs and it shows how the money can be managed with Wall Street, that's not a plan.
It's true.
So sitting down, having that true holistic plan, that is the solution to at least the stress of retirement, knowing that it's going to be okay.
Absolutely. And Rob, that's fully adjustable when life changes happen, correct? It's not set in stone.
Well, your budget changes, your life changes, grandbabies get here, everything just changes on a daily basis. And when it changes, you should be able to come in and talk to your professional about it.
What? You said budget and grandbaby in the same sentence.
You
There
have
is
no budget for the grandbaby. I get that.
grandbaby. And that doesn't happen.
That is true.
So
That
this,
is true.
So this leads me to one more thing, and Kristina still is crushing me on the Amazon contest, folks. So if you've been watching the show, you understand that we have this back and forth, and I am not even close.
Well, technically, now that we have added my little grandson into the mix, I mean, it's changed the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Winning.
Wait a minute, Prime Days are coming up, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh, those couple times a year. And then I also think about the different stages.
Yes.
Did you know, this is a little hint for our next show, folks, did you know there are more milestones in retirement than there are in childhood? Whoa.
Wow. That's
We're going to talk about
incredible.
those in our next show. So next week we can talk about that.
Well, Kristina and Rob, thank you for another amazing episode. Any final words of wisdom you would like to say, Kristina, before we leave?
Folks, I know you're worried about all these things we've talked about today. If there's something that's missing in your retirement plan and you don't know if you're on track, just take a moment, click that QR code, call the number on the screen, come in and see us. It's complimentary. I know you're going to feel better when you're with us.
Kristina, thank you so much. Rob, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, thank you for spending time with us today on Your Powerful Legacy TV. 877-893-5099. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you soon.